Hello, everybody, and welcome to a tropical update here. This is a current look at the Atlantic right now. Two areas to watch here. The main one, of course, being recently re-upgraded major hurricane Delta and the western Gulf of Mexico here, and then we also got a newly formed area of interest here in the open Atlantic here in the main development region, also known as the MDR, and it has a low chance of formation, but there's something to watch here over the next coming days. And here's imagery, a little bit more imagery here of Hurricane Delta here again in the western Gulf of Mexico here, intensifying gradually here over time throughout the day, and then now as the night passes on here, trying to intensify a little bit there. The eye's been trying to come out here as well for past, I want to say maybe 6 hours here, but hasn't really fully gotten out for any longer than about an hour or two here before getting clouded up by more convection near the center of circulation or right around the central dense overcast, as I say, the CDO of the storm there, as you can see in this you can kind of see in this loop here of the wide Atlantic there. Here's the forecast cone for Hurricane Delta as this latest update from the National Hurricane Center. Delta is currently located at 25.7 degrees north, 93.6 degrees west. Again, 25.7 degrees north, 93.6 degrees west. Maximum sustained 1 minute winds at 120 miles per hour, making us a solid Category 3 major hurricane here on the Saffir Simpson hurricane scale here. And the storm is currently moving to the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour, as you can see. And they forecast Delta to make landfall tomorrow evening here. Unfortunately, along the same general region where Hurricane Laura made landfall not even 2 months ago here, in the same region of Louisiana, unfortunately. So you guys are going to have to be dealing with a second blow here. Fortunately, the storm was forecast to be weakening on approach to landfall, unlike Laura, which was pretty much strengthening up until landfall. This is forecast to be weakening pretty much upon landfall due to cooler seasurface temperatures right along the coastline, and also increasing winds here along where Delta is going to be heading into towards Louisiana coastline. It should contribute to the storm at least weakening somewhat before landfall here, and especially during landfall here. And after it makes landfall, the National Hurricane Center forecasts the storm to rapidly weaken due to some really more unfavorable conditions that the storm will be entering, other than land as well too. And then here's infrared imagery again of Hurricane Delta here, major Hurricane Delta with 120 mile per hour winds, making this a solid Category 3 hurricane. And like I said, the storm was forecast to weaken a little bit before landfall here, but don't necessarily focus on that. Don't think, say it weakens from 120 to maybe 105 or 100 miles per hour at landfall like the National Hurricane Center is predicting. Don't just think just because it's a 20-mile-an-hour difference doesn't mean you need to stop taking the storm seriously. This is a really serious storm here, regardless of category here, especially given the fact with this storm surge here as a pretty significant storm surge with it as well, and I'll go into that a little bit later here. But don't focus on category with this hurricane. Focus on the impacts of it. If you're under a mandatory evacuation for this hurricane, you still got a little bit of time to get out of the region if you were trying to wait and see how the storm is going to do, or if you're waiting to see if the cone moved more east or more west. You still have a little bit more time to evacuate if you're under a mandatory evacuation. There, I highly stress and urge anybody under mandatory evacuations, or if you know anybody under mandatory evacuations for this hurricane, to let them know just to get out of the region. They probably had a really bad experience with Laura, I imagine, and I'm sure they don't want to go through it again unless they're daredevils here. This is a really, again, serious storm here. Fortunately, not a 150 mile an hour storm like Laura was, but still a serious storm regardless in the tone right here, regardless of category. And then here's again water vapor imagery of Hurricane Delta here, and you get to see the influence the storm has in the Gulf of Mexico and the western Gulf of Mexico. All the moisture it brings with it. I was in fact over here in Corpus Christi, and we're not going to get We're not going to get hit by the storm at all here, but over here we're getting some light rain bands and overcast skies this evening here from the outer bands of this storm. Again, metal scale imagery of Hurricane Delta there, as you can see. It's been trying to pop out its eye here for the past, like I said, I want to say 6 hours here. But Tony popped out for about an hour or so and then gone back in and gotten shrouded more by deeper cloud cover, deeper convection firing off around the eye wall there, as you can see. Especially in that last frame there, that big kind of burst of convection in the northern eye wall there. the eye getting more obscured with time. And here I want to show, well, I guess it's not going to load here, but this was radar from Brownsville. Let me see if it'll load again. All right, this is carelessly a Mark Nissenbaum here, the radar. And this is, of course, the radar for Brownsville right now, and you can see the storm progressing over time here. Looks like maybe trying to jog slightly a little bit north of the east here, perhaps in the last 2 frames there. Again, this could be just a little jog, a little bit of a wobble here. Storms of this intensity here and this magnitude here are tend to are prone to, I should say, to wobbles like this, where they could wobble a little bit more east, a little bit more west here with time, etc. here. So this could be just a temporary thing, and the actual more northeastern movement can be going on, can be actually going to be going on a little bit later here, or this could just be a little wobble here that the storm is doing here, and it's going to go back more on a northwesterly course here. But I will note, of course, on radar imagery, it does appear to be moving more north now than west than it was previously. And then if we thought Delta was the only game in town Atlantic, as I mentioned earlier, we have another area of interest here. At this point, it has a near 0% chance of formation throughout the next 48 hours into the next 5 days, low 20% chance of formation. We're something to watch regardless here, and see what comes out of that. The next name up, I believe, will be Epsilon. So that'll be the next name up on the Greek list here, since of course we exhausted the alphabetical naming list already in mid-September this year. And I'm able to get official information for Hurricane Delta here from the National Weather Service, local officials, and National Hurricane Center. For the National Weather Service, just type up weather.gov here, or just type up NWS, or just type up National Weather Service as you see on the top of your screen there, and it should take you to this first page here, and you'll know in the correct site when you see all this correct stuff right in front of your screen here. And say you live in Louisiana, or you know somebody that lives in Louisiana, you want to check up on them, click anywhere on the map there, and it'll give you to the latest forecast office. This one happens to be at the National Weather Service in Lake Charles right now. I can say to give you crucial information here. And then they have the storm surge map as well, right there, all up to date for you. And say you live in, or know any, you either live in Cameron, or maybe you know somebody in Cameron, and you're trying to see how the forecast is going to be here for your part of Louisiana here. And unfortunately, it looks like I accidentally clicked on the one part of the sea there. Let's go ahead and click inland here a little bit to Lake Charles and see if that does any better. But you'll see, again, 5-day graphical forecast right here, and it's below that a 7-day text forecast in detail, as you can see there. And then even have a hourly weather forecast here, so you can plan your day out hour by hour here on what you're going to do here as the hours tick on by here for this hurricane. And then, of course, if you don't know exactly where you live, and you only know the zip code, or you know the nearest city or town name near you, you could also click that up here, switch that up on there, and put in either a zip code or the nearest city or town name near you, and also get the latest forecast and same information you're seeing right here, right in front of your screen. Quickly, just wanted to mention tropical depression Norbert currently going on in the Eastern Pacific, not forecast to be a threat to anybody. Unfortunately, forecast to really dissipate here, probably a little bit after 6 p.m. Tuesday next week here. Again, really no threat to anybody except any boaters or marine interests that happen to be in the immediate area of the storm. And then quickly here's some satellite imagery of tropical depression Norbert here. I don't think this is up to date. This is up to date here, and you can see why the National Hurricane Center are keeping this as a tropical depression here with time. And then, of course, we also got a typhoon still going on in the West Pacific right now. Typhoon Tron right now. Currently, it's 75 knot winds, which is about, I believe it's 85 miles per hour, I want to say, if I remember correctly here, which makes it a formidable Category 1 typhoon. Unfortunately, it looks like in this latest cone is shifted more south with time here. So now Japan is probably not going to get those typhoon force winds here if they were even if they were even going to go over Japan here. So really good news for Japan here, how they're not going to get a typhoon force winds, it looks like. However, it does look like they may experience the tropical storm force winds, which I'm sure is nothing that Japan cannot deal with here. Just, of course, follow your local officials over there, and they'll tell you the latest on this storm here. And you can see satellite imagery of the typhoon here, and you can see it's on a weakening trend here. It looked a lot better yesterday, but now unfavorable conditions appear to have taken place with this typhoon here, and likely on its way out here as it passes south, fortunately, of Japan. And then here is go back to Hurricane Delta here before I end off this video. Take a look at the key messages here for Hurricane Delta here. You can stop the video right now and read it if you want to. That's the English right there. And then here's the Spanish version as well if you want to stop the video right now and read that. But here's the peak surge graphic from the National Hurricane Center recently updated here. And you can see 7 to 11 feet of storm surge here is predicted for looks like between Morgan City and between the Rockefeller Wildlife Refuge in Louisiana there. So still a significant storm surge here and a significant storm regardless of category. I want to really stress this here. Just because, again, the storm weakens, 10, 20 miles an hour before landfall here does not mean you need to stop taking this hurricane seriously here. Good example, let's take a look at Hurricane Ike in 2008. That made landfall as a high-end Category 2 hurricane with 110-mile-an-hour winds. Not saying that's going to happen with Delta here, but it's a classic textbook example how you don't need to have a major hurricane here to cause significant and dangerous impacts here along the coastline here. And then there's many examples before that of even weaker storms and storms that weren't even named that have caused more damage as well. So just because it weakens from Category 3 to Category 2 does not mean you need to stop taking it seriously here. Again, if you're under a mandatory evacuation for this hurricane, please, as soon as you possibly can, or preferably right after you see this update, just get as far away from this hurricane as you can. Evacuate from this. I'm sure they have shelters open for you to go into if you don't have anywhere to go. I'm sure they have shelters available for you and ways of transportation to get you out of here as well. I imagine as well. Don't really know the exact specifics on the evacuations here. They're kind of hit or miss in terms of getting information on them. I found with Louisiana, so you're probably gonna have to consult your local news station for that. But again, regardless, if we're in the mandatory evacuation for this hurricane here, please get out of the way of this hurricane. You should have learned your lesson with Hurricane Laura here. This is not going to be 150-mile-an-hour Cat 4 at landfall here, but still a serious storm regardless here in terms of storm surge impacts, likely causing widespread power outages as well too to places that have probably just gotten power restored from Hurricane Laura, not even 2 months back. So again, please, I stress to you, take this hurricane seriously here for you guys in Louisiana in the path of this hurricane. Again, don't just think just because it's a Cat 2 or a Cat 3 at landfall that it can't cause devastating, life-threatening, and deadly impacts here. Don't falsely go under a sense of security with this hurricane here. If you're under mandatory evacuation, get out. End the story here. Don't risk your life staying in this and trying to ride it out, or be brave and try to ride it out on your own. Get out, and you can get back into your area whenever the conditions are deemed safe enough to get into, and then you can assess the damage. So that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. Again, we don't want to stress for those of you under mandatory evacuation, your time is taken up here. You probably have till about sunrise or early morning, probably till sunrise or so, to evacuate for this hurricane here before tropical storm force conditions start to be felt from this hurricane here. Again, your time is really ticking here to get out of this hurricane if you haven't gotten out already, if you're under mandatory evacuation and haven't gotten out already. So please stay safe if you're in the path of this hurricane. If you know anybody that's in the path of this hurricane, please let them know and make them aware of this hurricane. And if they are under a mandatory evacuation, please stress to them. Just because this is only a Category 2 or Category 3 hurricane here, that you can't just completely rule it out and not take it seriously here. Serious storm here, and again, make sure you know that here. This is a serious storm here. So hope everybody has a great day now. Please stay safe, and please follow your local National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center, and local officials here. And if they tell you to evacuate, you do so. They're trying to save your lives here. They're not trying to inconvenience you here. They're trying to save your life here. And please listen to that advice. So again, that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. Apologize for the long duration of this update again. And hope everybody has a great day. Stay safe, of course. And links down in the comment section below for what I use here. And then, of course, if any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And that's pretty much going to be about it for this tropical update here. So see you guys later in the next video. Peace.